What's going on in childcare? So today we're going to be talking about what is going on in the childcare industry. I've been talking to a lot of owners, and there does seem to be a lot of fear happening right now. So it just seems a little bit scary right now what is going on. And so I want to talk about that. Last week, I was doing some trainings, and there were a lot of people that were really scared during the trainings that I'm doing. And there's a lot of talk about what is happening with the economy. Things are really, really scary with the economy. If you guys know what's going on with the insurance crisis, that is scary enough. And now enrollment has dropped. So we're seeing some massive issues with the economy right now. And we're seeing some pretty scary stuff. Like I said last week, talking to a few owners, doing some trainings, all I heard over and over again was enrollment is down. What happened? We went from these huge wait lists to now we're over, like we can't enroll children, and nationwide subsidies have been cut. I am here in Nevada, and one of the big things I was hearing from my people here in Nevada was, oh my gosh, the subsidies are cut. What is going on? And then I go to a training in Oklahoma, and it's the same thing. The state of Oklahoma has me do a virtual training. There's about 400 people on there. Same thing. Subsidies are cut. Texas, Florida, New York, subsidies are cut. And then you have all these rising prices, right? I don't know about you, but I know like my liability insurance has over doubled, and enrollment is down, and subsidies have been cut. So things are looking pretty scary for many of you out there right now. And there is a lot of fear that I see happening and coming around us. And that is why we're putting together a few things to help. By the way, if you're new to me, my name is Evelyn Knight, and thank you so much for listening to the Child Care Business Coach podcast. I have my own childcare center. I'm actually about to open another one, if you can believe it. January, in the midst of this, what some people would say, this is the childcare cliff. I'm about to open another program. So why is that? Why do I feel confident enough to open another program, even though in our industry, the sky does seem to be falling, right? There's several reasons why I am not as afraid of what is happening out there. About a year ago, I had this epiphany. And the reason it came about was because I work with a lot of different owners. And I work with owners who are going bankrupt. They really are. They're losing their businesses. And then I work with owners that are really thriving. So I decided to do my own case study on why is this section of owners doing so good. Not only are they thriving, but they're building new centers. They're doing fine. And these aren't. And I did find some trends, and the trends might really surprise you. It didn't surprise me. It was one of those things where I thought, like, of course, this is the answer. And it's fascinating because a lot of the work I do when people come into my membership and they work with me, it is what I'm targeting. So just to let everybody know, I do have a couple free trainings coming. Whenever I see this type of culture happening in society, I do like to try and step in and help. I'm going to do everything we can to save centers, to help you guys get through this time without being so scared, because it's not necessary. Okay. So tonight, I'm actually doing a training to help you get order of your childcare center. And it is free if you want to sign up. Actually, tonight, I think it's $27. Tonight's isn't free. Next month's will be free. But the one we're doing right now is if you ever feel like you're just out of control, you're constantly chasing your teachers, you just can't seem to get things in order, and you're always falling behind. For example, during your state licensing, is everything just done? Or do you know it's coming in a month, so you start this frenzy of, oh my gosh, I got to make sure files are complete, and I got to do this, and I got to do that. And you just feel like you're always one step behind. Well, I'm doing a training series today and tomorrow, and it's going to be all about how to stop being on that hamster wheel, because it is not necessary. It is not necessary. I'm going to show you how to create an annual plan. And in your annual plan, we're going to come up with a strategy to help you get to where you want to be. and plan for it. The problem is that people are so reactive instead of proactive. They're constantly putting out fires instead of preventing fires from happening. So if you find yourself just chasing your tail all the time and you feel like you're just putting out one fire after another, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't. That is a leadership problem. And I'm going to show you how to get off that hamster wheel. So my partner should be in the chat. She's going to actually put the details for that training. Next month, I'm going to be doing a free training on how to recession-proof your childcare program. How can you make it so you don't have to be afraid of the financial cliff that is about to happen? The economy is bad right now, but it's about to get a lot worse. It's going to get worse before it gets better. We're really starting to feel the repercussions right now. This December is very tight, very scary. It is going to get worse before it gets better, but we'll probably see an upswing by the end of next year. So how do we get through 2025? Knowing that we are we're seeing so many increases, right? I think Sam, if you're on here, hello. We're seeing the insurance crisis that Samantha Phillips is really just helping fight for us. And we're seeing so much going on that it is creating so much fear. And yes, I go into that mode too myself, where it's like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Can I make it through another one of these? I've been through a lot. I've been through the 2008 recession. I've been through COVID, and I'm still standing. And there's a reason. And I know when I put into play the techniques that I know and that I've created, I don't have to worry, but it does take some work. So today's training for December, I'm putting some free trainings out there to help you just get a handle on things, right? Just get some of that peace of mind, take your time back. It is possible. My director does not work 50 hours a week. I'm pretty strict about her only working 40 hours a week. And she takes a lot of time off. I don't know, at this point, she's worked for me for so many years that she's got a lot of vacation time. So you can do that too. You do not have to be married to your childcare center. My husband used to tease me all the time that I was married to my childcare center and he was the other man. It doesn't have to be that way, you guys. It does not have to be that way. So take this training, get off that hamster wheel. And next month, make sure you join us for our recession-proof your childcare center training. But let's talk about how to solve this issue. So there's one big thing, and it might seem crazy to you, but it's all about your mindset. How do you choose to see what is happening to you? How do you choose to interpret what is going on right now? Your mindset will greatly determine your success. I went on a journey once upon a time where I lost 170 pounds altogether. 170 pounds. I used to be 300 pounds. And I had tried all the diets before that. I joined Weight Watchers. You name it, I did it, you guys. I did keto. I did the low carb diet. I did all of it. And for many years, I failed. I would lose a bunch of weight. And there were times where I would lose like 50 pounds, but then I would stop and I would put it all back on. Now, 8 years has gone by since I lost 170 pounds. Why was I finally successful? It was my brain. There's a lot of tools out there and they're wonderful. Absolutely use them. Use the tools to help you. But even the best tool will fail if you don't have your mindset straight. When I finally lost weight and kept the weight off for this long, it all came down to my relationship with food and how I saw it, right? It all came down to how I was seeing things, and I had to change my mind. So 90% of my success in weight loss was my mindset. The fact that I didn't put it back on was my mindset. There is no difference in business. If you want to be a successful leader, it's all about your mindset. If you want to make it through a recession, it's all about your mindset. How do you view your business? What is your relationship like with money? And this will go back into your childhood. We all have a lot of childhood wounding and different things that are going to hold us back a little bit. So really questioning your paradigms, what you believe, what you think about money is going to change everything. How do you lead your center? What are the things you're willing to do? What action steps are you willing to take? How you view things. Did you know that stimulus is just stimulus, right? No matter what you go through in life, the situations and what you go through is not what affects your outcomes. It is not what affects your life. It's how you respond to those stimulus. Think about people like Anne Frank, right, who went through the Holocaust. Why was she successful? It was her mindset that made her successful. I think of people like the Wright brothers who invented the airplane. Their father was a pastor who told them they were going to go to hell if they thought that they could fly. Everyone told them they were insane. They were insane. But they still did it because their mindset was where it needed to be. Look at someone like Steve Jobs. Apple fired Steve Jobs and then they brought him back. His mindset kept him going. I love studying people like this because it reminds me of the power of the human brain. And to be honest, I work with hundreds of childcare center owners. At this point, I've probably worked with 1,000 over my career at this point, just helping different states and all the different things I get hired to do when I get hired to come in and save these programs. And I can tell you the number one difference between the people who thrive and do great, those who are not afraid of the childcare cliff, is how they see things. It's how they choose to show up. If they are in a really negative mindset, there's nothing I can do to save them. If they have this belief that there is a magic pill that's just going to make everything better and the government is going to come and save us and subsidies are suddenly going to pay for everything and we're going to have universal pre-K and we're never going to worry again because the government needs to come save us. Those are the people who fail. Those are the people who fail. Hear me loud and clear. Subsidies are great, but those should be gravy on top. You have to have the mental fortitude to be able to do what you need to do when the time comes. Expenses are up, income is down. What do? How do you deal with it? What solutions do you bring into your program to make it happen? There are solutions all around you, I guarantee it. There always are. The problem is in our industry, we're so narrow-minded. We look at it like this, right? We have to do tuition, but parents can't afford it. Oh my gosh, this guy is falling. The government has to come save us. That's what we hear all the time. But that's not true. Have you ever noticed if you see something like, let's say you buy a yellow car. There's no yellow cars on the road, are there? You never see a yellow car until you get one. Suddenly, when you get that yellow car, they're everywhere, right? They're just everywhere. It's like, wow, I had no idea there was really so many yellow cars. What that is your brain is taking so much information in all the time, constantly, right? Your brain is just on overload taking in information. If you literally could perceive everything, like if you just look around you, if your brain was calculating everything, every individual thing that's around you, it could not handle that. So it filters a lot out, right? So your brain filters out those yellow cars, just like your brain is filtering out all the opportunity that surrounds you. So yes, I am opening a new program. Next month, I'm launching a whole new type of product line that is not your traditional preschool product. It is not your traditional childcare product. It is a whole new type of preschool curriculum, totally different, completely different new way of doing preschool and childcare. And why am I doing this? Because what we're doing now isn't going to survive. It's not working. Childcare industry, as it stands today, is blockbuster. It is blockbuster. It is dying away. We just can't manage the cost of tuition to the cost of like what it costs to run our centers unless you're in a very wealthy area. But the average childcare center like mine, the average income in my hometown, individual income is $40,000 a year. $40,000 a year is the average family or individual income. Average household is 80. So think about that. I'm making it. I'm going to be okay with an average income of $40,000 a year. Now, if you're in a really wealthy area, you may not be going through what the rest of us are going through, right? But there's still those alternatives to generate more income. One of the biggest problems in the childcare industry is we have one source of income. Most successful companies have at least five, right? So when we're relying on one, and then it gets to the point where the government subsidies that were helping us are cut and parents can no longer afford increases, what do? We have to find new sources of income. That's what we do. We have to teach ourselves how to make our childcare programs entrepreneurs. That way we can still keep costs low and bring in more income. We can still keep costs low, pay teachers more, and bring more income. And the teacher pay thing is still a struggle, right? No matter what, they're not getting what they deserve. They're not. So it's time for us to get out of this blockbuster era of childcare and move into the Netflix era. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be Blockbuster. I'm going to be Netflix. And I know I will. I know I will. That's why I survived. That's why I've made it through the 2008 recession that took so many people out of business. When I first opened my childcare center, there were 5 around me. And I was the only one to survive. Now we're still not where we used to be. And I also want to tell you guys too, we need to collaborate with each other. This is about collaboration, not competition. So I will stand by my fellow owners who might even be 2 miles down the road from me. And I'm going to help them thrive too, because I know I'm going to be okay. And I want them to be okay, because bottom line is this is about the children. This is about having great environments for them. And if I can make sure that I help more people create wonderful, beautiful environments for children that help them thrive, not just survive, but really, really thrive, that is my job, right? As a business coach. So I don't care if they're a mile and they are my main competitor. They are my collaborator, not my competitor. And I will help them, because this is about the children. Always. They have to be at the center. And that's another really big problem I see in childcare right now. The children are no longer the center. And if you really want to have a successful business, you put them first. You'd be amazed how far that goes. Yes, Heather on the comments says that mindset is the most powerful tool. It is. Mindset is what got me through the death of my husband, you guys. 29 years. My husband passed away 6 months before our 30th anniversary together. We were high school sweethearts. And it was my mindset that got me through. It is all how you see it. So when I say the circumstances that you're facing don't determine your success, I can be the first hand say, I've lived this. It's how you choose to view it. It's how you choose to move forward that determines your success. Are you ready to give up? If you are, then you're probably going to fail. But if you know you're going to make it through this because you have the mental strength and fortitude, you're going to make it through this. It's going to be rough, you guys, but we can do this. And we can do it without going broke. You can do it without cutting your pay. You can do it without working 50 hours a week. So if that is interesting to you, make sure you join our training today. Yes, today we're doing the training on your calendar. Next month, make sure you sign up for our training on recession-proofing your childcare center. I will be posting all over. I don't know what you're watching on. I'm on Facebook right now, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm all over the place. But we will make sure that we post, and if you're listening to my podcast as well, the links for you to sign up for these trainings that we're doing. Today's training does have a cost to it. It's a small, like $27. Next month, we'll be doing it for free because we definitely want to make sure that more of you thrive and not struggle. My heart is here to help my fellow childcare center owners. I was once that failing childcare center owner. I know how horrible it feels. I had an eviction notice on my childcare center's door 12 years ago, and I made it through. I had an IRS agent knock on my front door, and I made it. And I know you can make it too. We can do this. We just need to team up and do this together. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.